Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I'm sitting in my mom's room on the floor because I don't know. Anyways, today we're gonna be talking about my bad mental health journey, as you've seen from the title. So there is a disclaimer, there are gonna be some graphic images, and I'd advise you not to watch if you don't really like seeing blood or things of the sort. So yeah, and also to my friends and my family, I am so sorry that you had to find out about most of this in a video, because I feel like a lot of things I'm gonna say I've never really talked to them about. I've never really talked about them to any of you, so I'm really sorry. But I feel like it's easier to talk to strangers, or a camera, rather than to talk to your family and closed ones, because they will feel it at a deep level, while strangers will feel it, yes, but it will eventually go away. My story starts when I was 11 years old. You know, just a kid, actually, just a kid. I had just gotten my periods the year before and all that. I know to some of you that's very early. I got my periods when I was 10, and I had just finished primary school, so I was ecstatic. I was so excited to start high school, because it was the grown-up thing, the grown-up side of school and all that. I remember I was quite excited. I was looking forward to it and all that, and then I got assaulted sexually. I was sexually assaulted by someone I don't know. I had never seen them before. It all happened so fast. The only thing I remember was struggling with a man, and him hitting me at the back of my head with a bottle, and me losing my balance and falling to the ground. Anyways, all of a sudden my legs were hurting, I was bleeding and all that. It was probably one of the scariest things and the hardest things I've ever experienced. Keep in mind, yeah, I want you to keep in mind that I was 11, so I didn't really know much. Like, I had my own problems, yes, before that particular incident, but I feel like this incident kind of like triggered everything that happened afterwards. I feel like that was my switch, that was my trigger, and that was my very last straw. So I went back home. I was really sad. I was crying, and I just passed my mom. She was in the living room. I just said hi, and I went to my room, and I stayed there for hours and hours. I tried to sleep it off. I'm not the type of person who talks. I don't really talk. I don't. Though I'm working on that right now, but if something happens to me, I'll let it just boil in. Anyways, so that was quite hard, and I was getting ready to start high school, so I was already scared. I felt like my life had ended there. So I was like, well, just go to school. What are you gonna tell your parents, that you want to drop out of school when you haven't even started high school? It doesn't make sense. So I started high school. It was okay. I still had friends from high school, from primary school, sorry. But then after a few months, things changed. So a backstory: in my last year of primary school, I was going out with this guy. He was a close friend to a close friend of mine. Yeah. So we started going out, but then we broke up in the first year of secondary school, and it was okay. It was fine. I didn't really mind the breakup. You know, I was still young, even though my heart did stink a bit at that time. And then all of a sudden, he started bullying me and telling lies about me, so that kind of broke my heart. The first lie was a white lie, really. It was, oh, I sent him explicit messages and all that, which I was like, what the hell is explicit even? I didn't really understand what the hell they meant by I send them explicit message, what they meant by telling that to people and all that. So now everyone just started, you know, making jokes behind my back and laughing and calling me names, slut being one of them. And then it got out of hand when he started saying that I sent him nudes. And I was like, wait, I didn't do that. I didn't even have a phone that had a camera. What do you mean I sent you nudes? It was really uncomfortable and hard. So I tried to talk to them about all of that, but they just shrugged me off. Now the close friend of mine, who was also the close friend of his, oh god, what am I saying? The friend was stuck in the middle, yeah? Anyways, needless to say that at the end of it all, I ended up being alone, and they ended up getting the support from the people. So it was like everyone against Debbie, the whole class against Debbie. So now he will go into detail about how my nudes looked like. And in my life, in all my life, leading that particular time, in all my life, I had never ever taken a nude picture ever, or a picture in underwears. I couldn't even wear a bikini, because that's how insecure I was about my body. I had a big body at that age. So for him to tell the entire class that I was sending him nudes and all that, it broke my heart. It got so out of hand to the point where the teachers actually heard about it, which leads me to my next point. So I'm in my first year of high school. I wouldn't say I'm the smartest kid ever or a genius and all that, but I do know my way around studying and how to pass and how to get good grades and all that. So I was studying hard because I really wanted to impress my parents. So this teacher, he was my history teacher, he comes up to me and tells me that if I want to pass his class, I'm gonna have to sleep with him. And I was like, wait, what? Sleep with what? He went on to explain that if I wanted to pass his class, I'm gonna have to have sex with him and all that. And mind you, at this time I was 12. I was like, wait, this is so not right. This is so disgusting. How do you just tell that to a child, a kid, your student? So we became enemies from that point, because I told him no. I told him I don't care if I fail your class and all that, which I actually ended up failing, and it actually did put me in trouble. Yeah. So at that point, I didn't really have friends at school. Everything was just a blur. I didn't really understand anything I was doing at school anyways. So fast forward to when this one time when I was sick and I had to miss school for I think 4 days. So I went to school on a Friday, and the first thing one of my classmates said was I got myself knocked out, meaning I was pregnant. So they said I am pregnant, and my parents told me to either get rid of the baby or move out of their house. And that is why I had missed school, because I was still trying to figure out who the father of my child is. Yeah, they say that I've been sleeping around. I don't know who the father of my child is. So they started naming a few boys I would interact with. Like, by interacting I mean talking to them, because we used the same routes or the same road to go back home. So that was a bit hard, and everyone will just laugh. So from then now they started writing on the blackboard that I am a whore, I am a slut and all that. Or at my desk I will just find small notes calling me names and all that. It was really hard. I didn't have friends, and all of this was going on. I really wish I had like someone to tell me everything was gonna be okay, even though things weren't going to be okay. But I feel like if I had someone to tell me that, it wouldn't be as hard as it was. I was so lonely. It was painful. It was really painful to see all the people who you thought were your friends not sticking up for you, and they were even participating in laughing with the masses, and they were saying this. I remember this one time I came into class, I was late, and I went to sit next to someone. I smiled, I sat down. They literally got up, took their things and went to sit behind, and they let me sit there. And the people next to me, like the people who are just behind me, they also went behind. So like no one really wanted to be next to me, no one wanted to sit with me and all that. And even though I really am trying, now I really try to understand that it was the only way they could save themselves from the pain and humiliation that came with being with me. Because if you hang out with a kid who's being bullied, you're also gonna be bullied. As much as I want to understand that they did it for their own good, I also want to understand why they didn't stick out for me, their friend, after telling me we were friends and all that. Anyways, so I will spend most of my time hiding in the toilet and all that. The thing that really marked it all for me was this one day during lunchtime. Quite a number of students had gone to have lunch, and I was sitting in class. I wasn't really hungry anyways. And then you see how a classroom is like a square or a triangle, or a rectangle. they gathered in one corner to form a semicircle, to, you know, like from a wall to a wall, now like this, like a curve. And I was like, my instincts were like, Debbie, get out of here, get out of this class now, go sit somewhere else, go lock yourself in the bathroom, just to get out of here. But then I was like, nah, I was actually feeling bad. And then one of them called me. Now my blood just started boiling up, because I knew what was gonna happen. And I wasn't wrong. So they put me at the corner, yeah, and everyone was gathering around it, so no one would see what was going on from the outside world. This particular story, I don't think I've ever said out loud, but they bet me. Oh my. Okay, that was the second most scariest thing of my life. They started beating me and calling me names and telling me, oh, I deserve it, I'm a disgrace to this world, I do not deserve to live, and all that. They told me to kill myself while they were beating me. So I was like, okay, what the hell have I done to any of you? I haven't done anything. All of this started because of a freaking white lie. A freaking white lie from that guy saying that I sent him explicit messages and I sent him notes. So it went on for quite some times, and there was someone guarding the door, so if a teacher was coming their way, they would just tell them to stop. And one of them told me if I said anything next time, I wouldn't make it out alive. I was so scared. I think that this hurts talking about it, because it's my first time talking about this particular thing. Anyways, from there on, I started missing school. I'd go to school, so my parents would think I'm going to school, but I wouldn't enter into the school itself. I'll just hang around until it was home time, and then I'll go back home. Or I'll just lock myself in the bathroom. I'll arrive in the morning, leave my bag there, yes, so they'll know I'm around. And then I'm gonna lock myself in the bathroom. I'm gonna sit with the lunch lady. She understood what was going on. She was like a mother to me, actually. So she did let me stay with her. She did let me sit with her and all that. It was really hard. It was so hard. And the fact that I felt like I couldn't talk to any of my family or any teacher, because it was just gonna make it worse anyways. Whew. Okay, so fast forward to 2016, I think. Nothing had really changed. I was being cyberbullied and physically bullied. Cyberbullied, verbally bullied, and physically bullied all at once. So, you know, online people will just start writing things about me. And I remember this particular Facebook post. It was like, oh, when you're around Debbie, hide your men. I don't know. They called me the boyfriend snatcher now. Apparently I was a boyfriend snatcher too. So yeah, so people who didn't even know me will just come in and bully me online. They will tag me and all that. People from neighboring schools. I didn't have friends, but my bullies were very well connected with people in different schools, so it was easy for them to really tell people, help me bully this girl online, you know, let me put her in her place and all that. Anyways, so that year, regardless of everything that was going on, I decided to start texting people on Instagram. How? So I will go on Instagram and look up for a hashtag. I'll be like hashtag depression, hashtag depressed, hashtag I am depressed, hashtag suicidal thoughts, and add DM or text, whichever you want to use, a DM or text those accounts, and try to tell them that even though it seems like things are very bad right now, things will eventually get better. In doing so, I felt like I was kind of reassuring myself of the same. Like when I was typing it to them and they responded saying they needed something like that, they needed to hear that, I will now translate it to me. I was like, I'll tell myself, Debbie, even though it seems like it's very dark right now, things will get better. So after doing that for a couple of weeks, I actually texted this particular girl. She had only one picture of herself on her Instagram and a couple of quotes. She's so beautiful, oh my god. She had blonde, natural blonde hair which she later on dyed, by the way, to a brunette color, which I was surprised. Anyways, she had really beautiful blue eyes, and I'm not even making this up. So I DM'd her. I told her, you know, it's hard, yes, but things will get better eventually. So she replied and she told me the same thing. So we started talking. We became really good friends within weeks. So we became the best of friends ever within weeks. And I was so happy that I finally had someone I can call my friend. I had something I can call my own, which was the friendship. And I had someone I can talk to about what was going on. So every day after school, we talk about how the bullies were bullying me again at school, and we just make fun of them, which is really fun. Yeah. We just make fun of them, and that kind of made me feel good. And we do the same thing about her bullies on her end. We just make fun of them until we felt good and all that. And at that time I felt hopeful because I was also getting ready to to graduate from high school, and I was no longer gonna have to see those people. And oh my god, you don't know how excited I was. I was so excited. I was like, it's gonna be the end. It's gonna be the end. I never have to see you guys again. I was so excited. Well, I think by now it's a pattern. Nothing happy really stays in my life, you know. So, oh god, don't tell me I'm gonna cry again. Things were going good on my friendship, yeah, but at school it was quite the same. At home, didn't really talk much. Oh yeah, and the teacher who was still sexually assaulting me, sexually harassing me, sorry, who was still sexually harassing me. At that time, I think he had left the school, which I was grateful for, because at the time he was sexually harassing me, I actually did fail the exam, and I was in trouble with my parents, specifically my dad. He really lost it, and I didn't really know how to tell him that I failed, not because I wasn't studying or because I wasn't serious. I failed because there was a teacher harassing me and all that. I really didn't know how to tell him that, you know. My father has high standards, which is normal in an African household. So it turned into me being distracted with the guys, and me being distracted with my phone, and my phone actually ended up getting taken away, and to them that was the reason why I was failing. But in reality, it was because of that teacher, really. I mean, no matter how hard I studied, he was gonna make me fail anyway, which he did. So I failed because of that. You know, imagine going from someone who gets A's and B's to someone who suddenly just gets an F. Like, don't you see something is wrong? So I did get in trouble. Some of my family members did make fun of it. They did make fun of me and all that, but I tried not to let it get to me as much. But it did, because I did not fail because I wanted to. I failed because there was a teacher harassing me to sleep with him, and me saying no made him make me fail. It wasn't my fault. I've never really said that out loud. I've never really said that. So to everyone who's watching this, my family member, if you shamed me at that time for failing, you know what? Freak you. Yes, freak you. I don't care if you're my cousin, my brother, my sibling. It's a really hard time. I wish you could have asked me what was wrong. I wish you could have asked me why I failed. I wish you could have asked me why I've gone from being an AB student to an F student all of a sudden, instead of just deciding to fill in the gaps yourself and making fun of me. So yeah. Anyway, so the last year of high school, a few weeks leading to that moment, I was quite excited because I wouldn't have to see any of my schoolmates anymore and any of my classmates anymore. So my friend, the online friend, we were quite excited. We were making plans of how we were going to travel the world, how she's gonna take my award for the best-selling book. I love to write and read, so we really focused on our book world tour, how we're gonna visit every country and make sure to visit at least one famous library in that country and all that. Life was really good in my personal life, and I was okay with all the bullying because I knew I had a friend waiting for me back online to talk. So she also had her issues, but we tried to complement each other and understand each other. So a few weeks leading to, oh yeah, throughout those years I developed a bad habit of self-harming. I would cut every time I got the chance, but when I met her I stopped because she made me feel better, and I didn't feel like I deserved the pain I was inflicting on myself anymore, or as much as I thought I did. So I stopped self-harming, but I would still pinch myself or punch walls, but that's the farthest I'd go. So a few weeks leading to my finals, things were, I thought things were good. I thought things were okay on both our ends. So, but now when I think about it, things really weren't okay, because she suddenly changed. Not in the bad way, like in the good way. She suddenly became extremely positive. Like, I know you're wondering why that's a bad thing, but I've done my fair share of research on psychology. When a depressed person or a suicidal person suddenly becomes extremely positive, starts being generous, giving out things, it's an indicator that they're done. They're gonna kill themselves, and there's nothing you can do. Like, they're done. They've made up their minds. So that was what was going on. She was extremely positive. In my mind, I was like, that's a good thing. At that time, I wasn't as learned about psychology as I am right now. So I was like, oh, okay, so like we just talked normally and all that, the phone calls. She tell me that she's sorry for all the pain I've had to go through. She told me things like she knows I'm gonna make it big in life. She told me things like, and now when I'm thinking about it, though, that was her way of saying goodbye, I guess. She told me that she loves me. She told me that I'm the best friend she could ever had. Like, I was like, oh, you too. And then this one night, I think I had gone to a photo shoot, if I'm not wrong. I came back home, I was quite tired. So I went to bed a bit earlier than I do, because we usually have our phone calls at around 9-10 p.m. East African time. But that day I was so tired, I decided to go to bed. I decided to go to bed early and all that. I woke up to a bunch of missed calls and a bunch of text messages from her. You know, at night, I heard my phone ring, but I thought it was an alarm, so I turned it off because I knew on that day I didn't have school, so I turned it off. I woke up, and I found 10 missed calls, 15 messages. None of the messages were like, where are you? I need to talk to you, or I hate you for not picking up the phone. They were more like, hi Debbie, I want you to know that you're the best person I've ever met. Well, the last messages, they said, remember me always, know that I will always love you and chase your dreams. At that time, I knew that was it. I knew that was it. So I tried calling them back, but I couldn't reach them. I couldn't reach them. I couldn't reach them. I couldn't reach them. So my whole world was shattered. My whole world was shattered. I felt like the world was closing in on me, and it was on a Sunday. So I am there trying to understand what's really going on and all that. On Monday I had to go to school. How was I gonna tell my parents that I can't go to school? My online best friend that lives thousands of miles away has just killed herself. How was I gonna say that? How? So I couldn't hear from her. I kept on calling. I tried keeping a positive front. I kept on calling, kept on texting. I was like, hi, I have some really cute pictures I want you to see and all that. So on Monday I go to school. I was so out of it, and still I had no friends, but there was this one guy who would talk to me occasionally. He told me that I seemed sad that day, and I just cried. Tears just started rolling out of my eyes, and he asked me what was wrong. I told him, well, I think my best friend just killed herself. he didn't really know what to say, so he was just like, oh, I'm so sorry and all that. Anyways, I ended up making it through the day. I went back home. I cried because I still didn't know for sure what was going on. So on Tuesday, I was like, I'm not going to school. I felt physically tired, emotionally tired, mentally tired. So on Monday evening, I started acting sick, so that by the time morning arrived, they just bite that I'm sick. So Tuesday arrived, and yeah, I did say, I'm sorry, I'm really not feeling well, I'm not going to school. I got the talk about how my finals are around the corner. I was like, I know, don't worry, I'll go sit for my finals. And then in the afternoon, I get a call. It was her number. I was so excited and all that. I pick up, and it wasn't her talking, it was her brother. And my heart sunk when I heard the manly voice, because I knew what was gonna come next. I wasn't gonna like. He told me that by the time they found her, it was too late. So even though they did try to rush her to hospital, it was too late. She had no pulse, her skin was cold to the touch, and she looked peaceful. So my suspicions were real. My very best friend, my one friend in the world, had just committed suicide, and I don't think I've ever experienced pain like that. It was one of the hardest moments ever. I didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone because I felt like they wouldn't understand. So I distanced myself because I needed time to understand exactly what was going on. I needed to know what was going on, you know. I was still being bullied online at school and all that, so it felt like everything was done. I felt like that was the end for me. And at this time, I think I was 2 weeks away from my finals. I thought of killing myself too. I was like, if I can't live, if I don't want to live in a world where she's not around, I don't want to live in a world where I'm constantly in pain, where I'm constantly alone. So I started looking up ways to kill yourself that aren't painful. You know, pills was quite famous. Hanging was quite famous. So before I gathered this courage to do it, I started cutting again. This time I would cut in deep. So at that time I was a ticking time bomb actually. So I remember this one fateful day. None of my parents were around, it was just my siblings. I had spent the whole day in bed. I wasn't really walking, I wasn't really doing anything around the house. And my brother comes and tells me to go cook. I don't know if it was to cook or clean, between the two. I told him I don't feel like it. And he asked me why. I tell him I'm tired, I just don't feel like it, and just please leave me alone. And he goes on taking my phone, and that was the last straw for me. I was at ticking time bomb, waiting for a trigger to explode. So he yelled at me, he took my phone. I was like, you know what, I'm done. I went to the pharmacy, I got some 20 tablets of sleeping pills and a razor. I sat outside the house and I started cutting myself. I think I still have, like, the bruises, they've started healing, but the cuts were really disorganized. It was really, I don't know, disorganized to say the least. Usually when I do it, I usually have a pattern to go straight. Let me show you. These are the marks, like they were that deep, so they've grown into scars now. So it was here, my whole hand was literally covered in blood and all that. So after I had finished cutting, like after I was like, okay, my hand is becoming, my phone just stopped recording and I thought I lost the video, but it's still there. So After my hand was now numb, I was like, okay, time for the pills. And I was weirdly excited and sad at the same time. So I started taking them one by one. I wanted to really take my time. After taking around 10, I started feeling weak. Weak. And I was like, okay, Debbie, keep going. You're almost there. So I took 5 more, and then I was really weak. And then all of a sudden, I could hear her voice in my head telling me, Debbie, please don't do this. And I was like, but you did it. Why are you telling me not to do it? And I kept on hearing it over and over again. So I went to the pharmacy where I got the pills, and I just sat there. And there was a doctor that day. He looked at me. I was like, oh my god, my hand was literally covered in blood. And he asked me what's wrong. I told him, see the pills you just sold me a few minutes ago, I took them. He asked me how many. I told him 15. So he cleaned up my hand, took me back home, and he told my brothers, I could vaguely hear them, but I heard them. He told my brother that if they wanted me to survive, it'd be in their own interest to take me to hospital at that time. So we rushed there. I don't remember exactly what the hell happened there. I don't even remember how I got there. So when I woke up in the morning, I had a talk with the doctor. They told me I really scared them and all that. It took them 5 hours to get rid of the pills in my system and all that. Anyways, so it was one of my lowest points ever. After that, I still did my finals. I passed okay grades, really, all considered, and I was now fully at home, so I didn't really have anything much going on, so I'll just sleep as much as I could and all that. Now I started getting the phone calls from family members, from relatives. And again, relatives, family members, avoid discussing the state of your children's mental health to your friends or other family members without their consent. I find it disrespectful, because at this point now people were texting me, calling me, asking. People are calling me, and I remember this particular cousin called me and told me, you really wanted to kill yourself because you didn't want to wash dishes or cook. Mike, get out. Akuna. And I was like, wow. And they went on giving me a lecture about how I wanted to kill myself just because I didn't want to wash dishes. Now that pissed me off, and I was like, so I burst out and told them, shut the fuck up, you don't know what the hell is going on in my life and all that. So if you have parents, aunties, next of kins, just avoid talking about your child's mental health to relatives without their consent and without having the full image of the full picture, because it just makes them look stupid. So from there on, life has been quite rocky. I've had good days, I've also had bad days. I've had days where I feel like I can't do it anymore, and I've had days where I feel like things actually getting back together and all that. I went on with my studies. I finished my A-levels. I graduated a few months ago, last year in November, which I'm very proud of. And I've made friends. And I'm in a very beautiful relationship with a very amazing man. And I'm looking forward to starting university. My mind is still not at the right place right now. I still have dark thoughts. I still have bad days. Currently, I am experiencing my depression season, which comes with being untidy, which comes with being sad, gloomy, tired. But I know I need help. But I think I'll be okay in the long run. So yeah, I've gone through so much at this very young age. I'm not even 20 yet, but well, I'm not even 20 yet, but the things I've been through are quite something. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, yeah? That's a part of what has happened leading to this particular time, making me have the very bad mental health that I have. In addition to physical health, I have a lot of sicknesses, illnesses. For lack of a better word, I think I am damaged. So yeah, can we just stop this video here? I'm really tired. I don't think I can talk anymore about my mental health, and there's so much that hasn't been said, but we'll do that some other time. I haven't even eaten the cake I said I was gonna eat, and I am not really hungry. So yeah, that's it. A snippet of my life. I just want to remind you, it's a bad day, not a bad life. I try to remind myself that every single day because I have a lot of bad days. So it's a bad day, not a bad life. Eventually things get better, I guess. So yeah, I can't believe I'm gonna have to be the one to edit this video because I feel like I'm gonna cry doing it. So yeah, if you feel like you're touched by the video or feel like it's something you relate with, give it a like it, you know. If you feel like it can help someone out there. I don't really know how it can help someone because all I did was talk about my experiences and not how I survived all the experiences. But if you feel like it resonates with someone you know, send it to them too, so they know that they are not alone, so they know that indeed this world sucks no matter where you live. So yeah, thank you for tuning in on the first episode of Let's Talk. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.